This is my 1980 SA22C Mazda RX-7. My daily driver for 5 or 6 years, but as you can see, it's a bit worse for wear after donating some parts to a recent RX-7 build that I just finished up. This is my 2003 BMW 325xi Touring, which is just fancy BMW speak for all-wheel drive hatchback. It's got some serious rust issues, but it's a 5-speed and I've had it for about 3 months now. The all-wheel drive is great in the winter. My wife loves the heated seats, but for me, the RX-7 is just where it's at. I love driving it. I've turned every bolt on it, swapped the engine more than a couple times. It's a little go-kart. I upgraded the suspension, so it was super planted in the corners. But it's not without its problems. It does have quite a bit of rust on the body, and obviously right now it doesn't have engine, transmission, or interior. Two cars that have more than their fair share of rust. One of which is really practical, good in the winter. The other one is the one that I really like. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm, stupid or naive or crazy enough to maybe try to combine them into one. First thing I decided to do is scan both the cars. So I didn't need a lot of detail. They didn't have to be crazy accurate or in-detail scans. Accuracy, obviously, we want. But for the RX-7, I just wanted to see basically where the firewall is, where the stock dash currently sits, because I need to know how much of the firewall potentially I'm going to have to cut out and remove, as well as knowing where the wheel, the axles are so that I have the wheel placement correct. For the E46, I wanted to know as much as possible engine mounts, front differential placement, as well as obviously the axles. The engine dimensions, I wanted to know how big the brakes were to see if they'd fit behind the wheel. Basically, I wanted a lot more information off of BMW, although neither one of them required a lot of detail in the scans. They didn't have to be the nicest scans of all time. So this data was picked up pretty quickly. It took me an afternoon to do each one of them. So this is a project that I've had in the back of my mind for a couple of years now, and it's the reason why when I found a cheap all-wheel drive E46, even though it was quite rusty, I went for it. I'm taking quite a bit of inspiration from Rod Millen's all-wheel drive FC RX-7. It was a rally car. He used a front diff and a transfer case to make it four-wheel drive. This is the final mock-up that I kind of wound up with. You can see I modeled a few things really crudely, like the front diff and where the transmission would sit with the transfer case. I do want to try to have the engine as far back as possible, so we'll see how it goes. I think that this is doable. I think that it's going to be a lot of work. You can see how much of the firewall I'll have to cut out. You got to make sacrifices if you want an all-wheel drive RX-7. So I feel like this was a pretty good success. Again, I didn't spend a lot of time scanning or modeling things. I didn't want to waste time doing a full-blown design if it was obviously not going to fit at all. Basically, it's like, how crazy am I? Am I totally crazy or just a little bit crazy? And I think I'm just a little bit crazy. I think this is doable. I don't want to go full tube frame if I don't have to. I'm going to try to keep as much of the RX-7 unibody. I am probably going to go with the BMW engine just for ease of, I can just pull everything over, plug everything back in, basically for the ease of planning. I'm just going to use as much BMW parts as possible and focus on the fabrication because that's what I want to really learn and get good at. Yeah, that's really about it for this for this video. I guess let me know what you think. I don't even know what I think. So, anyways.